International Civil Aviation Day started in 1996 as a way to inform the public about what the government agency is all about. Nigel Carter is the operations officer at the Civil Aviation Department.
We celebrated the International Civil Aviation Day. During this day we had an opening ceremony, obviously. We followed up with a little ceremony at the municipal airstrip to honor the pilots that are no longer with us. The new pilots that were added to the list was the late Sir Barry Bowen, as well as Captain Nigel Flowers, which both passed in 2010s. And we followed that with an open day whereby the general public could come and view what civil aviation is all about.
But the role of the department goes beyond giving guidance to pilots. Jose Contreras is the director of civil aviation.
The main function of civil aviation is to regulate civil aviation. When I say civil aviation, basically the art of flying, the operation of aircraft. We look after maintenance organizations, and we also look at licensing of pilots, licensing of aerodromes, and licensing of air traffic controllers.
Wednesday's open day at the ITVET compound in Belize City served to give the public a rare insight into what goes on within the Civil Aviation Department.
The turnout was quite well. We had many schools that visited us. There was a lot of information that they received. They learned a lot about the history of aviation in Belize, starting all the way back from 1920s up to present. The airlines were out there describing what their processes are. They touched on the behind-the-scenes work for somebody that wants to travel from Belize into another country or travels through our airport. And so the kids were out there, other members of the public were out there learning a lot about what aviation is all about.
One of the highlights of the open day was the launch of the Civil Aviation Department's website, putting the work of the agency at the fingertips of the general public.
The website contains information about the department. It contains information about civil aviation legislation. It contains aviation regulations. It also contains some forms which can be downloaded or completed on the site and then sent to the appropriate person who deals with the discipline, because the website contains the contact persons of the different technical information about the different technical people in the department who deal with air warnings, licensing, air traffic control, aerodromes, etc.
From the day of its inception until now, Contreras says a lot has taken place over the years.
There has been a lot of technical training. There has been the secondary surveillance radar. There has been an instrument landing system for the airport. There has been a new voice communication system for air traffic services. And there has been established an automatic terminal information service, which is a system that provides pilots on an appropriate frequency information that the controller will be given to them on first contact. So that relieves the air traffic controller from giving that information to the pilot. And also we are working on a new building to house the personnel of the Department of Civil Aviation, which is almost completed, and we might move in there by early 2012.
With the rapid development in the aviation industry, these days getting from point A to point B is relatively easy. But do you ever wonder what goes on behind the scenes at the Civil Aviation Office to ensure that your flight goes smoothly? We got a tour this morning where radar operator Andres Grajales explained what he does on a daily basis.
Mr. Victor Moreno, he's doing the executive control at the moment. He's the one who's speaking to the pilots, giving them instructions and information. I do like flight plans and coordinate traffic with the control tower, coordinate traffic with the adjacent air traffic control services.
Next stop on the tour was the equipment room, where the nautical technician told us what goes on here.
These are right here are the receivers is used by the controllers. The main frequency 121, 120, 1.9 and 118, 121.5, and we have right here some standby. And this is a recorder that records the communication with the controllers and the pilots.
And then there is the control tower. Julius Sanker was the officer on duty when we stopped by.
And our responsibilities here is to provide safe, expeditious flow of air traffic. Right? Our job is to prevent collisions. We provide traffic information, sequences, and so forth.
Most of the technicians and officers at the Civil Aviation Department received training in El Salvador, Honduras, or Barbados, among other places. The theme for this year's International Civil Aviation Day was Assistance and Cooperation for Globally Sustainable Air Transport. Reporting for Love News, I am Natalie Novello.